I was always like, I don't know, I was always the shy, quiet girl, and I don't know, I was always very different. Maybe when I was younger, and for the most part, I was just teased and bullied all the time. Always called fat and ugly. And
sorry to hear that.
For a support system, my dad passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
At the business, I had to work 24/7. I ended up, having some trouble in my marriage, and it was very hard being a single mom. I was the primary parent for the longest time, and it's...
Hello, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Adab. Friends, I'm Sharon Ali, and you're watching Hunny Walia shows. In today's episode of Through the Eyes of a Woman, we have a beautiful mother of 3, an entrepreneur, a model, and a former high school teacher. Let's welcome Jennifer Rodriguez. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on our show.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
Jennifer, you are a single mom of 3 beautiful children. And tell us, how do you juggle your time?
I'd be lying if I said it was easy, but sometimes you just, when you have a lot of goals and things you want to accomplish, you just make it happen. For one, I'm self-employed, so that kind of lets my schedule be a little bit more flexible. I have my eldest daughter, she's got autism, which makes it tough. So so what helps me is that the government helps with some respite.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have someone come down and look after your child with autism, or is that something that you learn to take care of yourself? Or
they come down, or sometimes they'll take her to their place. And
Well, that's very interesting. Okay, so for our viewers out there who are not sure what autism is, do you mind just giving us like a short explanation of what that's all about, or what it's like to an autistic child?
Sure. With autism, there's not one definition for it. It varies. There's a spectrum from high functioning to severe low functioning. Some traits that children with autism have, it varies. There's some that they can't speak at all, that are nonverbal, and they communicate maybe through pointing, through grunting, through sounds, through different means, maybe through the computer. And then there's high functioning, where they look neurotypical, but there's some things that make them fit on the spectrum. For example, with my eldest daughter, she's very functional, but sometimes she has tantrums that are a little bit more severe than what should be in her age group.
Right.
She needs a little bit extra assistance with more behavioral issues than functional.
I see. Okay. And you have 2 other children, younger children.
Yeah.
So how do they cope with your eldest daughter then? Are they do they help you as far as dealing with her? Are they used to it kind of thing? Or how do they cope with that?
Sometimes with autism, you have to kind of make allowances for the child with autism than you do for your neurotypical. For example, to the neurotypical, no, you're doing this right away. And for the autistic one, so that they don't get upset, you have to kind of, okay, well, maybe just do half, do this. The younger ones, at first they saw that as more favoritism, and they got left out. So I did have to explain it to them,
right,
because then they would feel that they're less important or just don't get as many advantages. So now that I've explained it, they're I can't say completely happy, but they understand that they're managing, I guess. Yeah,
and it's normal for them to feel like you're favoring the older one, right? But I guess that's just normal as a child for them to feel that way. But it's great that they're positive to her now, and they're kind of used to it, and makes it easier for you, doesn't it?
It does,
definitely. So how is it for you growing up as a child?
To be really honest, I mean, it's hard for me to talk about. It was not a very good childhood.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
My family were immigrants from Russia.
Okay.
And so we were extremely destitute, poor growing up,
Oh, I see. Okay.
So there was never any money to do, like extracurriculars, gymnastic, dance, that kind of stuff. Like never go to restaurants, never had experiences where a lot of people, like they go to a restaurant now when it's like nothing,
Right.
Whereas for us it would be like a celebration. It's like, oh my gosh, you went to a restaurant, you know?
Yeah. So where did you grow up? Did you grow up here in Canada, or was it back in Russia, or?
No, here in Edmonton.
In Edmonton. Okay. And what was it for you in school? Like, how are you with friends and schoolmates, classmates?
It was not good at all, I was always like, I don't know, I was always the shy, quiet girl, and I don't know, I was always very different. Well, I guess we're different. We're all different, but I mean, different. Whereas I guess I kept more to myself,
Okay. And is it because you were always like a more quieter person, or did it have to do with kind of the upbringing, or you just find that's just your personality, or?
Yeah, I guess, kind of upbringing, and kind of just maybe low self-confidence,
Low self-esteem, I would say.
Yeah, you don't, if they can't see you, then they don't know what's wrong with you, kind of thing,
Okay. So do you have a lot of friends in school then, or a best friend or anyone, or?
It varied for like maybe when I was younger, and for the most part, I was just teased and bullied all the time, always called fat and ugly, and...
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's got to be tough, especially going through the school years. Was that all through school, or just kind of in the elementary years, or?
Mostly junior high.
Junior high, yeah.
For no reason, I could walk through the halls and just get beaten up, and throughout the end of grade 9, my parents just homeschooled me because I said I would not go back,
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, all right. Well, I see that your self-confidence has gotten a lot better. You're a very confident woman now, so that's good news. So how are your relationships as a young adult? Getting to get relationships with other people, men, women, and as you were a young adult, maybe in your 20s, or was that any different from being a child? Do you find that you were more confident by then? Did things change for you, or?
I became more religious when I was older.
Okay.
And learned about God.
Okay.
And that helped me kind of strengthen my who I am in God. And therefore I attracted like-minded people who share the same,
Did you go to any group therapy, or any therapists that helped you going through anything growing up through young adulthood, or support system like your parents or your siblings, or?
I've been through my share of abusive relationships. So I've been to therapy over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for relationships while you were a young adult, or before you got married, or?
Just throughout.
Throughout.
Yeah.
Okay.
For support system, my dad passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay.
Thank you. And my mom, she works pretty much 24/7, but yeah.
Okay.
And then my sister, I have some sisters, but the one is just really busy she's in med school right now, and
Nice.
she's got her own 2 boys.
Okay.
And then my older sister, she's an entrepreneur, and she's got businesses out of town as well, so she's really busy.
Nice. How many siblings do you have?
Just 2 sisters.
Two sisters, 2 older sisters, or?
I'm in the middle, so one older and one younger.
Right. So despite all the struggles you did have through life, you were the first one to graduate and go to university in your family, so great, hooray to that. What did you take? What kind of degree?
Bachelor of Education.
Nice.
And it was really funny because my minor was special education.
Okay.
And it really came handy when I had a daughter that I found
Look at that. Look how that how that combines in, right? So you took education, so you wanted to be a teacher.
I did.
What was your, did you just love children? Did you want to help children? What was your reason for choosing that degree?
It's a funny story because I initially wanted to go into nursing.
Okay, yeah.
So I took my prerequisites at Alberta College.
Yeah.
And I really loved math, and I remember doing my math, and everybody in the class would always ask me for help. And I really enjoyed helping them, and I thought, I don't know why I'm wanting to be a nurse. And then I switched into teaching,
It's like a calling for you, right? You started helping people, and you thought, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's great. So did you end up teaching then, or?
I taught for a couple years, and then it kind of led me in another direction.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can't say Edmonton. I'd say just anywhere in the world. Teaching is it's hard to secure a permanent teaching job right now, especially now with the economy. But
Right.
it always has been somewhat like you need to, I guess, pay your dues, which with everyone. And
Yeah.
I had struggled. I was teaching when Anya, my eldest, was about 9 months old. And it was so hard for me because it's definitely not a 9 to 3 job where the kids go home and you're done. Like, I had to work sometimes 10, 11 o'clock grading papers.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Emailing parents and things like that. And I never got to see Anya, which was really, really upsetting for me. So the following year, I ended up not getting a teaching job, but I ended up getting offered a preschool teaching job, which I'm not into. I don't enjoy teaching young kids like that. But the bonus side was that Anya got to be with me all the time because she was able to be in the class next door to the one that I would teach.
Nice.
So I said okay, but it was the most miserable experience of my life.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not that there's anything bad about the job, nothing at all. But you're miserable when you're doing something that you know is not your calling. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I met a lot of educators that love working with the babies and that, but that's just not my calling. It's just not for me,
Right. So you figured this is not where. Did you ever think that you wanted to go back to teaching again or try that route again, or?
That's a possibility, maybe in the future, but not in the near future, far off,
Right.
Yeah, I kind of went through a new direction and I want to kind of see where it goes, when I ended up leaving the job with the little kids, and I ended up getting a job being a caregiver for a woman that was, I think, in her 90s.
Okay.
And I found out at the same time I was pregnant, so I was like, okay, so how am I going to make this work? How am I going to provide for my family and be able to see my kids all the time?
Right.
And this family, when I worked for them, it was funny because they were really wealthy, and I thought, I wonder, I'm going to learn from them and see, I want to be like them,
Yeah,
One day, the lady had, I think, a $600 pedicure, come into her house.
Wow.
Well, not just a pedicure, but massage, a whole treatment.
The whole works, yeah.
And I thought, I wish I can afford to do nothing and to just get a $600 treatment. So I'm like, well, I wonder what these people do. And I examined them, and they're very hard workers. They had businesses that, they're entrepreneurs as well. And of course, I'd ask them some questions, about if they like what they're doing, how do they start? And of course, everyone starts from somewhere,
Right.
they had a business that didn't work out the first time, but they said that they learned so much, and then that was able to help the second business.
Yeah.
So after I thought that, I thought, working for myself, it would give me a chance to provide for my family, but also to be able to see my kids more,
Right.
So then I talked to my sister and I said, I think my next step is maybe instead of looking for a job, to start a business. And she said, what did you think that you want to do? I said, I honestly don't know. And she suggested vapes, and electronic cigarettes.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about them, so I thought, okay. So they were at the point where no one knew about them. They weren't out. They were coming out, but no one really knew what they were. Where now it's everywhere,
Right.
And so I researched, and I thought, that's interesting because I used to be a very big heavy smoker,
Okay, yeah.
And I thought, oh wow, anything to quit smoking. Quitting smoking is the hardest thing ever, you know.
So I hear, yeah.
It reminds me of this quote that quitting smoking is so easy. I've done it over 1,000 times,
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that quote too. It's quite amusing.
Yeah. So one day I thought, I had a meeting with my sister about how to make it realistic, and I thought this would work out. And I tried it. I started out in a very small kiosk, renting a space for my mom's cigar shop.
Okay. So your mom had a cigar shop too?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
So I started doing that, and then within a year, I had struggles. I had to live at the business. I had to work 24/7. I had to basically sleep there, not overnight, but I was there crack of dawn, and I was there late at night, you know? And then 8-9 months with a pregnant belly, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just, it's a lot of work, you know?
Yeah.
I want to like stress today that success is possible even when you have all these struggles ahead of you, but it's not easy. It's hard.
It's a lot of hard work, especially owning your own business, as some of our viewers might know as well. It's a lot of hard work having your own business. I mean, you're the business owner. You're the person. You're, you know, the main person there. You've got to go there. You can't rely on anybody else. And, you know, this is your thing. And once you're settled and you have people working for you in that, yeah. But at the beginning, I can see where it's a lot of hard work, you know. But eventually, I'm sure it does pay off, though.
Yeah. It takes a while. Like, I mean, it took us maybe probably at least 4 or 5 years to see it taking off. And
nice.
but yeah, within a year starting, we were blessed with our whole storefront, you know.
Oh, nice. So are you partnership with someone in this, or is this your own business, or?
Yeah, I have a business partner.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. And then, so with all these struggles, and then you decided to go work in the daycare. You left the daycare. After that, you went on to your new business, the vapes shop. So eventually, you bought the house of your dreams. Is that true?
Yeah, and it was funny because when I was working for those rich people, they were in a neighborhood that I've always wanted to live in.
Right.
And after I left theirs, I thought maybe when the baby's born, I wonder like if I can afford an apartment here one day, you know. And then, yeah, you know, I owe it all to God. Within a year, I bought a house in that neighborhood.
That's great. That's so wonderful to hear. I mean, with everything you've been through since you were a child, with the struggles, with being, you know, so poor, as you said, and then just going through life and struggling and getting to where you're at. I mean, that's great. That's what you call reaching your goals. That's amazing. Amazing to hear. Good for you. Good for you. So how did life change for you after your third child, personally? Like, were there any big changes for you, or you started your business while you were pregnant with your third child?
Well, I was pregnant with the second.
The second, okay.
And then the third one came pretty much right after.
Right after that, okay. So were you still in the same business? Everything was still going good for you, or?
I ended up having some trouble in my marriage, and we ended up shortly after the baby was born parting ways.
Okay.
So it was very stressful. I mean, it's never pleasant when you're entering a marriage with two people. Of course. And then it was very hard being a single mom. I was the primary parent for the longest time, you know, and it's just, it's very draining. And the worst part is people that aren't single moms trying to tell you, like, you're not doing this right and you need to do it this way. But then they forget that what they're suggesting to you, it's with, when you have two people helping you, like a partner at home helping you, you know?
Right, so Absolutely. You know, you get that advice from people, and our viewers will know too, that, you know, do it this way, do it that way. But I always say that you never know what the situation is unless you're in that situation, living that situation, right? Like, I can even tell you, you know, do this, do that, or whatnot. But then if you're not in that particular situation, you never know what it's really like, right? Oh, yeah. So how did that make you stronger in a sense to take care of your children more? How did you get help from your parents or from your mother, or like how did you cope with that? Being a single parent in the business, because you still have the business, right?
I do, yeah. The toughest part about that actually was during, you know, divorce proceedings. That's when my dad passed away. Oh, so I'm dealing with the divorce and everything, you know. It was very, very hard. It was I won't lie, it was devastating, you know. I guess, you know, kids were in daycare part of the time so that I can work, so that helps me. And then for me to get some private time, getting a babysitter, you know, you need to do what you need to do, you know.
Did you have support from your ex-husband at all, or like as far as the kids were concerned, or was it kind of like you did everything yourself, or?
Right now I do, we're 50-50, so right now it's, nice. Okay. You know, but before, back then, it was just a little bit, complicated back then, but, yeah, at the time I didn't really have support besides daycare, and I can't stress though enough for anyone in my situation that do what you need to do. If you have to get someone to like clean your house, if you, right now I get a house cleaner just because sometimes I feel like I'm a failure. I can't even clean my house, but it's just, there's only so much you can do, And
I think that's the biggest thing. You should never think of yourself as a failure, because what you're doing right now as a single mom, your own business, you're struggling, you're juggling so many things that you're far from a failure. You're like success, right? Because everything you're doing, there's not many women out there that could do that, right? Or, it's not easy. So I got to hand it to you. It's great. It's great. After all that, you went into modeling. Wow, that's quite the adventure. So what made you do that? Go into modeling?
It was really funny. I was doing it when I was younger, and I had left to pursue other things, go back to school for my teaching. And then have a family, of course. But after I was going through my divorce, of course, I was upset and I had low confidence. Yeah. And I had posted on Facebook one of my modeling pictures from when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And somebody in the industry saw it and said, "Wow, you should go back into it." And I kind of laughed because I still had like a lot of pregnancy weight.
Yeah.
My daughter was still very, very young. I think at the time she was about 4 months. So she was still very young.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh no, I couldn't do it." And she goes, "No, you could do it." And I thought, okay, maybe maybe a few months, maybe down the road, And then one day, but I just wasn't confident. And one day I saw some posts. One was a paid job, and I had no portfolio, and I applied to it, and I thought, I'm gonna get it. I have no portfolio, and I'm overweight. And the person was interested, and I said, "Oh, but there was no questions asked, but of course, me being insecure, I was like, "Oh, here, this is a picture of what I actually look like. I had a baby," and he's like, "It's fine, like it's okay, And I did that, to 3 postings in a row. It was a long weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I got all of them.
Wow, that's so great. It means you just had a child, 4-month-old baby, and you're modeling now. And talk about a boost of confidence, though, even though you felt insecure. Like, that's great. So you got 3 offers, you're saying? Or?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So it's kind of just went from there?
Yeah, and I just, decided, to see where it can go, and it was good. It wasn't easy because, of course, you have your fans, people that are saying, "Oh, like you're very pretty," and then you have people messaging you that are trolling. And I had this one guy constantly, everything that I post, practically stalking me on social media. "Oh, you're so fat,"
Oh, but I don't know what this does for these people. Honestly, why troll people? If somebody's happy in your life with what they're doing, just let them do it. Why do you have to troll people? Sometimes I think it's because that person themselves is insecure, right? So they feel that if they degrade somebody else, this is going to make themselves feel better or look better, right? Yeah, you just gotta, you always gotta outweigh the positive and the negative, right? But that's great. That's great. You just, you're confident, you're beautiful, and I'm glad that you got that offer for being a model, especially after everything you've been through. Like, my goodness, that's great. That's great. So you're still modeling right now. You have your vape shop. Kids are with you 50% of the time, and you look great. So I think things have really evolved for you. That's wonderful. It's great to hear. I think you're very encouraging to all the other viewers out there. It's wonderful. But I'm going to ask you some fun questions now, just to get you know you a little bit more. Would you rather eat an entire pizza or drink a case of beer?
To be honest, I absolutely loathe beer. I hate it.
Oh, really?
And you know what? I have eaten a whole pizza, so I'd stick to that.
Well, there you go. There's your answer right there. Where's your favorite place to go for dinner?
To be really honest, I don't want this to make me sound egotistical, but I've been improving my cooking since COVID, and I can't find a restaurant to match it. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go. Wow, good for you. That's a great answer. You're a confident woman, I'm telling you. Who is more charming, Nicolas Cage or Arnold Schwarzenegger? They're both into these action movies, so it's kind of like, who would you want to do a movie with?
Neither.
Neither?
I just don't find them the least bit attractive.
Not attractive at all. Okay, well, good answer. If you could be in a Hollywood movie, which one would you be?
Oh, good question. Funny, probably. It's funny you said Arnold Schwarzenegger. Probably Twins, because that was a really funny movie.
Yeah, that'd be fun to be in. Yeah, the comedies. What kind of movies do you like? Comedy, action, drama, horror?
Oh,
Romantic?
I love horror.
Do you? You know what? I love horror too. Something about that. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but those horror movies, sitting under the blanket like this, but it's just the fun of it, right?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked me that, because this week I've been watching Valentine's.
Oh, okay.
Just because was Valentine's, and
yeah,
you should watch it. If you like horror, it's really good.
Yeah, great. Okay, is there anything you're afraid of?
Yes and no. I mean, I guess the reason I say that is kind of mice.
Oh yeah.
But I would never ever want to catch it at the same time or hurt it, because that would just be cruel. But I just don't want it around me. So
yeah, I don't like mice either. Ugh, they're just yucky. Jennifer, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing with our viewers everything that you've been through. I'm so glad that things are better for you now. You're in a happier place. So continue, be confident, and you're a beautiful woman, and just go with that. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.
For our viewers, thank you so much for all your love and support. To watch more Hunny Walia shows, log on to our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to be on Hunny Walia shows, then please message us or inbox us. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care.